Hello, everyone. I'm James Milan. Welcome to the DPCD update. We are with our director of our Department of Planning and Community Development, Jennifer Raitt. Jenny, good to see you.
Great to see you.
Wanted to start off, we've got several things to talk about today, but I wanted to start off with a familiar topic to folks who have tuned in for the last couple of months at least, and that is the housing plan, which is moving forward, and there's a community forum that's coming up. So we've talked about this plenty in the past, but for those who may not be aware of the program, can you just bring us up to date or let us know what people should know about the housing plan and also what your hopes are for this upcoming community forum?
Absolutely. So the housing plan is an update to an existing housing production plan. This is a plan that basically outlines over a period of 5 years how Arlington could create and preserve affordable housing and various steps it could take in order to address various housing needs in the community. It's a plan that's adopted by the Arlington Redevelopment Board and the Select Board, and then it must be approved by the Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development. This particular time that we're doing the plan update, we're looking at a whole new set of data and demographics, housing trends, changes with the housing inventory that have happened over the past 5 years, and incorporating that into a new plan that will then help us to set the stage for setting new goals and strategies. The other thing that's going to happen with this plan is it will dovetail with a process that will be led by the Arlington Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which we're hoping will be seated very soon and starting their work very soon. So it's a very critical planning process. A lot of people, as we've talked about many occasions now, a lot of people in Arlington are concerned about the need about housing affordability and availability. And this plan is one of the best mechanisms that we could possibly have to help to address some of those issues, at least from a policy perspective, as in what types of town policies could we put into place to address these issues about housing availability as well as affordability. And that might mean a lot of different types of strategies. So we started the planning process back in the spring. We had our first forum in June. And the second forum, as you noted, is next Tuesday night, 6:30 until 8. And the purpose of that second forum
Jenny,
is
I'm going to interrupt. Sorry.
Oh, yes.
Sorry. Just want to include the date.
September 14th.
People aren't always aware of when we're speaking.
Tuesday, that's right. Yes, Tuesday, September 14th. Thank you. And it is all virtual. So if you perhaps can't participate, you could potentially view the video once it's posted and see the slide deck of the presentation that will be shared that night. The thing that's mainly happening on September 14th next week is that we're going to hear from our consultant, Barrett Planning Group, along with Horsley Witten Group. They're the two people that constitute the consultant team who are helping us to develop this plan. They're going to share the results of the housing needs assessment. And that assessment looks at, as I mentioned, all the demographics, housing trends, the housing inventory, and various kind of issues and concerns that are somewhat unique to Arlington, somewhat not unique to Arlington, and are a reflection perhaps of the greater Boston housing market and regional demand for housing. But we'll really kind of dig into the details of what's happening with the housing market here in Arlington, and what are some of the issues and needs that we're starting to see. So we're going to have the consultants talk about that. And then there will be opportunities for people to engage with the data and information through small group activities. There will also be a mapping exercise. So lots of time for questions. We didn't have enough time for questions at our last forum. And so we wanted to make sure that we had plenty of time for people to ask questions about the process, about the numbers, about any other things about this plan. So that's what to anticipate for next Tuesday night, the 14th.
Yeah, and if I can tick off the things that I noted in what you were just saying, one is that, like a lot of the forums that you present, that your department presents, this is a combination of both getting information out to people, and this is the latest information coming from the people who we've paid to do that work, and so people are going to get the up to the minute scoop in terms of what's going on. And then you've also built in a mechanism, as you've just said, for people to provide feedback both immediately, and I'm sure if they, if they want to do so in ensuing days, they'll be able to, or if they see the forum, and one of the points that we show it after it happens, they'll still be able to weigh in. It again feels like this is moving forward in the way that a lot of the work that you do does, and that is share the information, get some feedback and input, move forward on that basis. You were mentioning that there wasn't enough time for questions as you looked back at that first forum, so you've made an adjustment there. Obviously that's the way that we want things to be going when it comes to that interaction between our planning department and our community. So good
Yes.
stuff. All right, so second topic is something came through my mailbox, and I'll bet a lot of others recently, and that is about a new program, Pop Arlington Holiday Market. And that's not immediately clear on its face what that is about. It sounds interesting and good for Arlington businesses, but if you don't mind, just tell us about the program, what the hopes are for it, and what the details are.
Yes, it is. It is somewhat unique, and it would be the first time that we're doing anything like this. And it's being led by our economic development coordinator, Allie Carter, who has put forward sort of basically an opportunity for businesses to introduce themselves to the community through pop-up opportunities in locations that will be really throughout Arlington. They're not specified anywhere in particular, and in fact, what we're doing right now is simply seeking potential vendors. What we have open right now on the town's website is an online, basically an interest form, so that a business can state their level of interest, describe how they might utilize a pop-up site. And so far, actually, we've netted 22 submissions, so as of last week. So there's definitely some very strong interest in working through this program. It is a limited time frame, so in a way, it's sort of a pilot opportunity, and it's during the holidays. So it'll be available. These opportunities will become available from November 26th through December 24th. And as I said, they're throughout Arlington. So it could be in a location where there's a current vacant space. It might be someplace that's sort of piggyback onto an existing business opportunity. Lots of potential opportunities here. So what we're looking for now is just vendors who are interested to state their, level of interest, what they can do, what they would like to do with the space, their space needs, and anything else that they can tell us about their retail operation. And then we're hoping to then get back to people as soon as possible and start to make some connections once those opportunities become available. So I think it's a great opportunity for Arlington.
Yeah, great. And obviously other people think that as well in terms of you having 22 responses already, because I don't think it's been, the message has been out for that long. So hopefully that momentum continues. Can I ask you just one quick follow-up question? That is, obviously we're talking running between roughly Thanksgiving and Christmas, the holiday period, as you mentioned, not the best weather in this area on the whole. So I assume that most of these spaces are going to be indoor spaces. Are they going to, do you have that kind of settled already, what the various spaces are going to be available around town?
We don't have the spaces determined at this time. We know of many potential opportunities, but what we want to learn first is a little bit more about the vendors and then connect them with the right opportunity.
Makes sense. All right. Final topic for today is, as I mentioned to you before we went on air, we're going into acronym land, folks. So people are aware, I think, of the CDBG program, which is Community Development Block Grants, in a way, a mechanism for funds to be distributed for local projects. But there is an aspect of that, and that is, I'm going to read this because I didn't memorize it. It's the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report, or CAPER, C-A-P-E-R. So let's combine CAPER and CDBG, and why don't you just let us know what the significance is of this release, And, I understand that there's a comment period that's open till mid-September, till September 15th. So basically, what is CAPER and what should our residents know about it?
Absolutely. And there are so many acronyms. So I'm glad that you described what we're talking about. As an entitlement community, Arlington has been an entitlement community for 47 years, actually. This is a report that simply reflects the work that we did from July 1st of 2020 through June 30th of 2021 in our program year 46, which was the year that we received a pretty significant infusion of CDBG funds, both our regular annual allocation, which is a little more than $1 million, which gets distributed towards affordable housing, public infrastructure and facilities, and public services throughout the community, as well as general planning activities. There are other things as well, but that's a general sampling of the types of things that we do with CDBG dollars. That combined with 2 different rounds of CDBG CARES Act money. That was that special funding source that our community and others received who are entitlement communities in order to address issues that arose from the pandemic due to COVID-19. So we were able to
Jenny,
deal with all of those programs.
Second? I apologize for just want to make sure I and others understand. When you say entitlement community, and you mentioned that Arlington has been one now for 47 years, does that just mean that we're eligible for these that makes us eligible for these CDBG funds?
Yes, it's an eligibility status, and it means that we receive CDBG funds directly through the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, as opposed to through the state Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development. And it's based upon specific criteria, including the age of our building stock, the number of people who are over a certain age, and the number of low to moderate income households residing in the community. So those and other factors combine to make us an entitlement community. So the CAPER is a report of what we did in the past year and our efforts in meeting goals in both our consolidated plan, which is a bigger planning process, and our annual action plan. And so we're looking for feedback, as you said, through September 15th.
Great. I wanted again to apologize. I so often interrupt your train of thought, but that was an important clarification. So thank you for that. And that brings us to the end of our agenda, I think, for today. But let's make sure we haven't forgotten anything that left unsaid.
No, I think that covers everything today. Thank you so much.
Excellent. I have been speaking, of course, to our director of our Department of Planning and Community Development for this DPCD update. That's Jennifer Raitt. We appreciate her time. We always do. And we appreciate yours as well. I'm James Milan. This has been the DPCD update. We'll see you next time.